Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong. Welcome to the back of this Teardown lab. We have here a Casio MQ10 calculator, and unfortunately, it's not working. So a little bit about this calculator. It's sent to me by Billy Sastard on Twitter, and I'll put his tweet down below. And he posts a calculator every day, a calculator of the day, and he had a few calculators, some of them broken, some not, and he sent me a few, and this is one of them. And it was introduced in 1980. It takes two LR44 batteries, looking somewhat similar to these, but not these because these are too big. It's got 8 digits of precision and algebraic logic, 5 functions, 24 keys. One of the early LCDs displays which incorporated a yellow filter, so that's why it's kind of yellowy. Manufactured in Japan, and I believe, looking at it here, it actually has clock functionality, which is excellent. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look before I start ripping into it. So you've got these little tiny keys, and look how teeny they are. Just to sort of give you an idea, look, this is the size of my tweezers. You almost need tweezers to operate them. And the size of my pen, look, it's the size of the nib practically. So yeah, very cute, very nice. A little bit of damage here on the plastic of the screen, but I don't suspect that's whatsoever the problem with this. ST, what? Stopwatch? RCL? Yeah, not sure what RCL means. Alarm, time, all the various buttons. On the back, you've got your set. You've got the P button. 2 1.5 volts batteries, 0.004 watts. Casio Computer Company Limited. Made in Japan, and there's your screw to get in there, and there's your little battery door, and it's nice. It's kind of it's basically this champagne coloured metal, very fine metal over a plastic chassis. Gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold these batteries in because I said they're a bit big and I'm still waiting for some to come, but we'll have it go just to see. I kind of imagine I heard something. I don't know if it's the batteries making a crunchy sound or if it was actually the buzzer inside the unit. Let me try that again. Being very ginger. Nah, probably just the sound of the battery. Ooh, I can see very dim a number on the screen. Yes. Let's clear that. 2 times 2 is 4. Wonderful. You can't quite see that on the camera, but look, I've got a bit of a polarizing filter here. Sometimes it works because the polarizing filters on the things themselves, the devices themselves, can go a bit naff. But you can just about see the 4, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's a weird issue. I really haven't got to grips with this sort of technology. I have fixed things, but only where it's sort of easy, basically. I've just noticed something as well. This finish is rather nice because it's not just sort of a brushed metal, but it's got a varnish coating on it. That's going to keep it blemish free from all of your sort of fingerprints that you usually get on these things. Oh, how careless of me, obscuring the camera with my hands. So I've got a danger here that once I open this, all of those squillions and squillions of small keys are going to go and jump out at me, so I'm going to try to avoid that. There's the buzzer on the back, marking here 9061341. Could be a manufacturing date, who knows. Yeah, that's interesting. That's like held in there loosely. Just pop that out. Serviceable item. An HD 43107. What's that logo? Is that Hitachi? No jewels, unadjusted, Casio, Japan. And there's the crystal for the clock. And the trimmer, look, you can trim the clock. Little capacitor. It's all part of the timing circuitry, probably for its real-time clock functionality. What these 2 pads are here, that's interesting, because that's obviously the spring to the sort of chassis, and there's the other wire that goes to the speaker, or rather connected to the speaker, but there's an interesting pad here, which is coming from the battery. Could be a reset. Just going to look on the case, but there's nothing in line with it, so that may well be like a sort of factory reset. So we've got 2 screws in there. So this is right at the danger zone. I'm going to take this sort of small spring out and leave it here. So we've got less chance of getting it lost. I think it'll still probably get lost, but we're trying to mitigate against that. So I'm enjoying these new lights in the back office now. It's certainly a lot better than it was. I'm not using a softbox now sitting to the side of me to illuminate this item. I'm just relying on the lighting above me. So when I hunch down, I don't know if the picture goes a bit darker as I obscure some of that light, but certainly for me now I can see a lot more. Just going to remove this. This is the sort of membrane containing that reset and set key. Ooh, it's very exciting. That's the hook for the lanyard. I think that's actually made of real metal. Yeah, real metal. Oh, there we go. The PCB is lifted. And it's very good job too. I took a bit of time because look at that. That would be a disaster. Have all those buttons come off. There is indeed a yellow filter here. Look at that. Yellow filter. Very interesting. I'm going to check something about that. I'm just going to take it out. Try not to scratch it. I'm just going to leave it to the side now. Yeah, there is still a screen, as it were. So here's my polarizing filter again. So we're going to see if the yellow... Ah, yes indeed. The yellow is a polarizer. So it may well be this bit of yellow. That's the fault. So I'm just going to, again, gingerly move this whole thing to the side. I don't want to disturb it, but that's the unit itself. I wonder why they went for the yellow though. It's a sort of odd colour, isn't it? Because it's quite easy to see when it's, I think, the regular sort of colours. I'm just trying to make contact with the battery manually, but I don't think I'm there yet. Just have a little fiddle, little twitchy fiddle here. It's hard enough to get this to sort of come on when it was actually in its case properly. So I'm hoping we could find a number on the screen, but certainly nothing appears to be coming up. That's the one downside of having such powerful illumination, is the I kind of imagine I'm seeing some numbers there. But maybe that's it, just imagining. Yeah, the problem with having such powerful illumination is that you're going to get a lot of shadows cast over. Right, so I'm just going to see how this battery's wired. Let's see if we can just maybe do a hard wire to it. We've got plus here, minus here. Are they wired in series or are they wired in parallel? That's what I want to know. Got our meter here. Just going to put it onto continuity mode. Okay, that's really weird. Am I losing my mind? Yes, I am. I can't think of how these things are wired together. I'd assume they'd either be in series or parallel, but they just don't seem to be neither. So if this is the positive of the battery 1, isn't connected to the positive of battery 2, or the negative. So how does that work? Oh, hang on. They are in series. So this unit would be running on approximately 3 volts, I'm guessing, if these are 1.5 volts each. So we can try to hook up our bench power supply, but I'm going to be very, very cautious with that and check the voltage out before we do anything. We don't really want to blow this up. 1 volt, 2 volts, 3 volts, that's what we've got. 3 volt supply. So I'm going to solder the black to the minus here and the positive to the red wire. and that'll be a permanent hookup to allow us to experiment. And I'm going to be very quick with it. I don't want to, I'm going to take this membrane off actually, because I definitely don't want to melt the membrane. That would be a bad day indeed. Okay, soldering iron is almost ready. So if you're doing this sort of thing, be really kind of careful with the power. So you don't, oh my life, I don't know if you saw that, but I was actually soldering it to the battery, where the battery goes, and the whole battery contact lifted. So you got to, I wish I was more careful. I should have been way more careful than what I was. Yeah, that's a dangerous one. Right, so I've got it upside down now. You seem to be drawing some current, but it's so low it's hard to tell. I'm not seeing anything on our screen at all. I'm going to try to hit our reset on the back. One of these was a reset, if you recall. Let's go for both, why not? Just not seeing anything right now. And so as a sanity check, let's just check the voltage again. Yeah, 3.2. I'm gonna drop it down. It's so look, it's such a 3 volts. There we go. So that's just exactly on 3 volts. Nothing. So we do have a few more advanced sort of pieces of equipment here in the back office. One of them being an oscilloscope. And that does allow me to see what's going on with this crystal. I can tell you whether or not the crystal is actually running. So I'm just going to probe it on here. Just as a sanity check, yes, we do have voltage on there. Yeah. Pretty sure we're not seeing what we need to see there. Yeah, I can't see anything. Anything resembling anything other than just noise. Okay, so with our probe off, which is kind of useful, we could just sort of experiment a little bit. So I'm wondering if it genuinely needs the whole screen as part of the circuit. So I've just been probing around with it with the oscilloscope. I really can't see anything. The oscilloscope's not revealing what I need it to reveal. So I'm just going to pop it all back together because I don't really know how these things work. So they could be super sensitive and require, for example, require the speaker unit to be in circuit or something like that. Who knows with these things? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the yellow filter out and I'm going to reassemble it. But I'm just going to keep this piece out. It's the only way I'm going to be able to sort of debug it if it's just the filter. So I'm going to pop the screen back in. Sit it home. There you go. In you go, lad. In you go. Oh, he's not happy about that. Not happy at all. Must go in a particular way. I think the other edge first. Try that bottom edge. Bottom edge. Indeed, I think there is a cutout for that. Yeah. It's a bit of a shelf. It's a fiddly bugger. See inside there's a little route out. You need to get that edge in, but there's a pin here stopping it. So once it gets in there, it's nice and sandwiched. It's clearly, there we go. Come on, you can do it. He's in now with a white display. So where's our little tiny screws? So there's our teeny screw that went in the middle. Going anywhere. We had one there. I think we had this for sure. Let's try and remember where all these screws went. Is that a screw hole there? Oh, that is a screw hole there too. Let's pop those in and then sort of look at this, see where it had a screw hole. Yeah. So you want to move this one over to there. Right, that's good, looking good. We've got our thing. I mean, I'm assuming I'm going to be taking that apart because I want to do something with that yellow polarizer, but let's just pop this in case I don't fancy it right now. Whereas it's probably easier to get a bit of yellow film or another polarizer if I lost that, but it's almost going to be impossible to get another lanyard clip. Let's get our little spring in here. Nicely done. First screw in. There, nice. Seems right. Try the batteries. I do hope it's not knackered. No, I heard it beep. It's nice of it to beep, you know, after we assemble it up. I can see some sort of a digit there. It's definitely something going on there with the screen. But it's so odd. It looks really odd against this sort of modern sort of polarizing filter. Certainly see some of the numbers. But do you see how it's got sort of hot spots in it? It's almost as if it was a weird radial polarization. There's something definitely up with that. So yeah, I don't know enough about these to know how they work. Bugger. So the only thing I think I'll have to do is just sort of dismantle it again, put that yellow bit in, and shove it in a box till I'm ready to have another bash at it. So if you've got any comments, please leave them down below, how you think this screen might work or what's wrong with it. There's a few there was a few components in there that could be replaced, some caps and resistors and things. Maybe just swapping those out might help. But I don't know. Yeah, so if you do know, please comment down below, click like and subscribe if you're that way inclined. If you click the little bell and your subscribe icon, you'll be notified when I make another video, possibly one going back into this again. As ever, thank you for watching.